and just different experiences as an artist. But then you come up with this idea of the Culxr House, and what the Culxr House is all about. How do those two like passions influence each other, like in your creative process?
Like, it's always going to stay in doing this type of hip hop, bro, because people don't get tired of that.
Yeah.
But it's always refreshing to hear something different.
Yeah.
So I've always, known that bar. So I know that globally, you know what I'm saying? They appreciate this sound.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about how important it is for people to get their voice out there. Like, because you don't know who you can inspire, right? A lot of people are creative in their own different ways. Musically, maybe it's on a canvas. How important do you think it is for people to, like, get their voice out there and be heard and be seen?
All right, welcome to the Content Parlor. We got a special episode today. Tara's back on the show, so welcome back,
Yeah,
Tara.
welcome back, Tara.
Glad to be back.
I'm your co-host, Chardell. We've got a packed panel today, plenty of thought leaders on the show, so we're gonna get right into it. But before we jump into the episode, let's do some quick housekeeping. Content Parlor is a social club for creatives, for content creators and creatives. We are here today to talk about creating culture. Those who know who's the guest on the show knows the pun.
Right.
But make sure you hit the bell notification on YouTube to get the latest and greatest updates. And be sure to follow the Content Parlor on social media at the handle Content Parlor. All right, with the housekeeping out of the way, let's go around the room and do some quick introductions. We'll save the best for last. Let's start over here.
Oh, got me first. My name is Avion Barnes. I don't like this question because I feel like I do so much, but I'll just say I'm heavy in the self-development area right now, building some community as we speak about culture around that area. So, yeah, with a stable, great team for about 6 months now. So.
Has it really been 6 months already?
Dang.
Time's flying, but
Sheesh.
It was cold when you started.
Wow.
yeah, for real, nothing to be cold
It's like the
again.
beginning of spring,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
or send me 6 months. Dang.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah.
What's up, Tara? Who are you?
I'm Tara. Giving my name away. Come on. I'm the go-to for all things creative, I suppose. My official title would be graphic designer. Kind of a jack of all trades. Like to dabble in a little bit of everything.
Welcome back. How's the baby?
The baby is great. I love it so much.
Tara had a baby, guys. That's why she
Yeah.
has been on the show.
Yeah.
So now she has a baby.
Yeah. Now I am a mom, which is a whole nother type of role that I never thought I'd experience. So,
Right on.
a whole nother level of responsibility.
It's
Is
like a whole episode right there.
Yeah, we could talk about that
Right.
forever.
Yeah,
but
we
we're
should
not
do an
going to. We
episode
should
on
get
that.
back to-
Navigating
We could do it.
creativity as a mom.
Oh my gosh,
A parent.
I could talk for hours.
Let's go here first.
Here. Yeah, Teddy Young. Y'all should know who I am by now, so we won't have the focus on me because we got our very special guest, Marcy Yates, who is an artist, producer, and founder of the Culxr House. But if you don't know, also my brother. So, very excited to have him on this episode, just to share just a little bit more. If you've been living under a rock and don't know, you can't say that after today. So with that,
disclosure.
yeah, welcome to the show, and can you share just a little bit about your background?
Yeah. First off, thanks for having me here in the Content Parlor.
Yes, sir.
I'll be checking out the clips and the reels, and so
That's what's up.
I've been telling Teddy like, man, get me on here. So it's cool. So I'm glad to be here. Yeah. I mean, gosh, what do you want me to ask? My bad.
It was just sharing a little bit about
Oh.
your background.
Yeah.
Just a little bit,
What
because
you
we'll
do
get into
and
that. Yeah.
how people can follow you.
Gosh. Well, I'm an artist first and foremost.
Yeah.
But you know what? While Evian was giving his introduction, I was like, you know what? Is there a term called arttrepreneur? Have you heard that yet?
Well, yeah.
Entrepreneur.
I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
if I've heard it.
Or creative entrepreneur?
I think I've heard that one. Creative entrepreneur. Yeah.
So I think I
Creativepreneur. I mean, we can make the word today.
something
Yeah.
like that.
It's
right?
official.
That's what it is.
Creativepreneur. If it ain't out
Right.
there,
Change the word, put that in the dictionary.
Yeah. And so I think like for me, like as being a producer and a recording artist, I find myself just like expanding our creativity, right? But entrepreneurship at the same time, right? So I feel like, that's like the realm I'm in now. So I like to say that, man, just doing a lot of creative things now. You know what I mean? But as far as online, Marcy Yates, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, of course, all streaming platforms, right? Music everywhere, like worldwide. You can go to like Walmart or Target or Best Buy or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying?
That's so cool.
And get music and stuff
It's
like
everywhere.
that.
That is so cool.
So just everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. All over.
Yeah, we're working on a global brand now for
Nice.
2025, the global campaign.
Okay.
So is Marcy Yates? Because I know people get confused.
Yeah.
Is Marcy Yates a moniker? Is that your alias? Is that your just like artist name? Or should people call you that when they see you in person, or what should people
That's a good
call
question.
You know, I think that it depends on how long you know me and when you met me. You're gonna know what to call me.
Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna know what to call me because I haven't told you anything else to to call me, right? But
It's true.
But for instance, right, there's some things now where I have to start like attaching my government to it, just because I'm in that space where like, I do want things to come back to the family name though, right? So as Teddy was
That's
saying
right.
before, we are brothers, so I do share the Young last name. So Marcy Yates is moniker, stage name, but became a brand, right?
Okay.
So as I see Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, now I have to do Justin Marcy Yates Young, right?
That's right.
I shot a film a week ago, and that's what I chose to do for the credits. You know what
Okay.
I mean?
Okay.
So,
I love it.
That's what's up.
I
Yeah.
love it. Justin Marcy Yates Young.
Man, I don't feel special enough to know someone so
Man,
cool.
I need a name.
It's true because people, because when I run to people, they don't know the relation, or just because they think his real last
Yeah.
name is like Yates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I think that's
so
the cool
it's
thing
interesting.
too. I'd still leave that element for a surprise. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even like the other day. I did a tour for Creighton, and this lady was like, "Do you know Jennifer? Jennifer, right? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I know her." And sometimes I do it. Sometimes I do it with Julian or even with you too. You know what I mean? Just cause sometimes it's just
Right.
Sometimes it's just fun just doing that. You know what I mean?
We see what they say.
Yeah, right.
Secrets
Yeah,
revealed.
say.
When I first met you, I never knew what to call you because I knew Jennifer first, and then I knew Teddy, and then I knew you. So she would always call you by your government name,
Yes.
and I was always like, "Do I call him Justin?
She
Do I call him
does.
Marcy?"
All Jennifer friends call me by my name.
Yeah. Those
I've
would be
heard
my
it
thoughts
too.
in my head when I was talking to you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call him.
Yeah, but no, for sure. Like those that meet me at Culxr House call me Marcy. Those that know me as an artist call me Marcy. But if you knew me growing up, then it's always like Justin or Jay Young, right?
Yeah,
Normally.
that's sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hooper or football or?
Yeah. Hooper, football, track.
Okay. Let me step back.
yeah,
Let
true.
me step back.
Hurler,
Sports.
man.
Hurler.
Boy, he's a
Hurler.
beast.
Yeah.
Oh,
District
yeah.
champ.
But that basketball vertical
QB,
is all right.
that option, boy.
All state.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Just greatness all around.
Yeah, it's
Well, we
greatness.
appreciate you coming on the show, man. There's a lot to unpack here. Obviously, watching the journey of the Culxr House, right? From this idea and this subculture brand to now being like very prominent in the community, very visible. So, with the intros out of the way, just want to unpack the artistic journey a little bit and understand, where the passion came from and where your start to hip hop originated. So if you could just tell us, what sparked your interest in hip hop, you know, and how you develop your sound, right? Because you have a very unique sound. I know that music has evolved a lot, right? Like we have moved away from like the boom bap style to more of a almost like a Caribbean upbeat type of style with like Bone Thugs mixed in. It's kind of weird. It's like some triple hi-hats with the upbeat rhythms. But you stayed true to the classical hip hop style and put your own twist on it. So kind of tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I try to go back as far as I can remember, like when I was introduced to hip hop, and it always takes me to like my grandpa's house. So I'm always like upstairs, and then Jeff just playing like my older brother Jeff. He was like an underground hip hop head. So like first and foremost, he wouldn't even let us be on no commercials like tip. Anything commercial,
Right.
like trying to be like anybody else, he'd be off of that. So we always had to, it was just kind of ingrained, just being being an individual. But I kind of took that into my music. I kind of like listening to music no one else listened to. You know what I mean? And it happened to always be underground music.
Okay.
So that was kind of like my first introduction to hip hop. And then once you like what you hear, then you search for that. So I would fast forward tapes. You know what I'm saying? Rewind stuff just to get to, the feel that I like, what I'm saying, in the song. I kind of, didn't listen to the lyrics like that, I always, just gravitated to, the beat or sound, and then be beatboxing in my head, trying to, just doing that, So I think, listening to, early days of, Jay-Z, right? Hearing things from Reasonable Doubt and really loving Dead Presidents, right?
Okay.
I'm out for presidents to represent me, right? You know what I'm talking about? And then he had that, and he had a remix of it too. So it was even another version with different lyrics. It's like, dang, how you do original, and then you do your own remix with all new lyrics to the same beat. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, and so I kind of gravitated to a lot of East Coast underground and then West Coast underground, but as I got more in the game, I understood that Slum Village and Dilla was Midwest. I didn't know.
Crazy.
Right. Detroit. In Detroit, you didn't know.
Oh, shoot.
So it make you feel a little bit better about being from the Midwest. Same thing with Chicago, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know Common and Ye and them dudes was from there.
Yeah.
Right.
You think
that conscious music too.
you think Chicago is somewhere well,
Yeah,
but no,
right,
dudes,
right.
right? It's right here in the Midwest. So I think that, man. And then our upbringing too. So when both sides of the fence where you know better, you know what I'm saying, but you could have the choice, you know what I mean? So it kind of gives you perspective. So in my music, I always want to make sure I'm doing something that kind of honors where they can't be pull me to the side and be like, dude, what you talking about, man? You know what I mean, right? So I never want to be on no fronting, stuff like that. Again, like I said, man, I always felt as myself, just being different. They used to always say that to me all the time, man, you just trying to be different. So it's been just kind of a natural thing, man. So
Yeah.
I think when it came to music, of course that's the approach I wanted to take. And I said for anybody, this is how I judge if an artist come from that cloth, right? Is what's the first type of music you dropping? Then if you start to get to the more commercial stuff and real stuff, I get that, kind of know what you're trying to do at that point, right? But it's what's your early stuff sound like, right? What was you on? Because normally that you get to see what their influences were, right? So I always ask somebody, what's your influences? You know what I mean? So I try to feel that. So me, man, I kept it, I just kept it real, man. That's just what it was. So for me, I didn't want to just be a rapper though. I got into producing, and so I was always attached to soul samples, right?
Yep.
To where I would just I would dissect Kanye's sampling style. I would dissect Dilla's, right? I would grab the same samples, recreate the same exact chops. You know what I'm saying? Try to do it that way, right? So I could learn how it's done. Same thing with Pete Rock. When I got to that point, I kind of stopped listening to what they're doing for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because then you have to start creating your own thing.
Start to influence you too much.
But then that's when you can just start putting your own sauce on things, right? You know what I mean? You get enough tutorials, right? And then you're I got it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. At some point, you consume, and it's okay.
You do it that way, man. So I've always loved that style, but over the years, Chardell, man, music has changed a lot. So So when you listen to like a record, like, no, I'm not gonna give you like every track. Just ain't gonna be like boom bap or like golden era or like, you know, like some early gay stuff, right? You know, you make a couple tracks, few tracks to get like some slappers, right? You know what I'm saying? But for me, like the album consistently, the record's consistently going to be on some like soulful something or something you can like feel, mostly, right? So with me, man, it's the melody, like, you know what I'm saying, first, man. But also, man, think about it this way, right? You know how like when people are thrifting now, and so like, you know, music like clothes from the 90s in the 2000s is popular, right? So have you listened to Doechie's new album?
And that's it, no.
So check out Doechie's new album, and they're saying it's the best rap album in 2024.
Okay, now I have to.
Okay, noted.
Because of the approach she took on it, though. And if you listen to her recent interview, she's like, I've just fell back in love with hip hop, listening to a lot of MF Doom and, you know what I'm saying, and et cetera, right? And so you can
MF is
tell,
crazy.
but I've always could tell by her rap style, like, oh no, like she's from like the rap clock. So for me, like, it's always going to stay in doing this type of hip hop, bro, because people don't get tired of that.
Yeah.
But it's always refreshing to hear something different.
Yeah.
So I've always, you know, known that bar. So I know that globally, you know what I'm saying, they appreciate this sound. They appreciate this sound a lot. You talking about Denmark or Russia or, you know what I'm saying, right? Overseas, man, where they like streaming, where I get streamed a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know.
Well, we've talked about sampling in the office a lot because several people were like, well, you know, sampling is going to run out. You know, you're going to run out of tracks and this and that. And I'm a firm believer that how, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's unlimited, and I compare it to like scrapbooking. It's like, how is there an end to scrapbooking? You know, you're combining the best elements of different things, and there's so many different ways to reinterpret that, whether it be tempo, whether it be, you know, the way you chop your samples, and so I appreciate it. And I just want to also say congratulations for sticking with it. You know, I have a background in music as well. You know, I used to run a recording studio, and I didn't stick with it. You know, now I'm doing music, but I do it through marketing, right?
Gotcha.
But you stuck with the classical style, and I respect that.
Yeah. I you know, I try to tell my youngins that's coming up, like, content and sound does matter. Like, you know, like I played with the Omaha Symphony like a week ago, right? And
Yeah, I saw that.
I try to use these measures like for examples for them. Like, if the content of my music was like what you hear most of today's, I wouldn't have been on that stage.
No. Right.
So
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
So, album just came out?
no, right now I'm dropping snippets of new music.
Okay,
you know?
snippets. Okay.
Yeah, and just been introducing new music like in these, you know, in this festival run I've been doing all summer, man, and so I linked up with this other Midwest company, and we're working on a collaboration. So doing some things with them. So we'll do some rollouts, right? Some single releases. You know what I'm saying? Work on like just a strategy that they have. So that's what we're gonna.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna rock with and see how that goes, man. They have some new things that they want to introduce, right? And I'm interested to see how it goes, right? Because you know, like with marketing things, things change all the time. And for me, like I'm in a space where I want to try and try new things. You know what I'm saying? New ways to release, new ways to, you know, put music out there or collaborate with other entities that have other resources and things like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, just, yeah, you know, something I picked up on when I did that deal with Souter Creek, man, and we did the record with Souter Creek, and, you know, just being in the inside, getting to learn about the resources and all the kind of pieces that you need to successfully, you know, put out your music, but, you know, to do it in a way, you know what I'm saying, that makes you feel like you're doing it, you know, as an artist, man. And so it takes time, but it takes, you know what I'm saying, definitely takes, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of cash too to do it, right? As I tell folks too, like, you know, it's not about just getting it out there, right? Just uploading to YouTube or just getting it on Spotify, you know what I mean? So what's next? So So my process is what these other artists do as well too. You know what I mean? It's like as soon as it's done, you don't just put it out, right? You have to then, come up with your strategy in the ways that you're then going to, release your music
Right.
for a period of time. You know what I mean? So
I got a question.
yep.
Do you got goals of like, how some artists will cross over into other genres? Do you ever got goals of like mixing your style into, say, a rock genre or a country genre, or like, do you ever think of things like that?
I'm open to it. I think those opportunities probably will present themselves depending on, I think depending on how far I spread, and if there's, it's opportunity for me to work in that space, then yeah, I definitely would do it. I've collaborated in a lot of different spaces, with opera, with symphony. So I would welcome, collaborating in those genres as well too. Yeah, definitely rock though, like being in like the punk space, like that.
Yeah, I think
that's
that'd be
pretty
really cool to
Yeah.
hear how your sound meshes with some of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thanks for giving us I feel like a somewhat deep dive. I feel like there's more we could unpack there, but
Right.
yeah, as we pass it over to Teddy,
Right on.
looking at the Culxr House. Good luck covering that.
Yeah, we definitely
Lot to talk
gotta
about.
touch on that. So you've been talking to us just about your journey. As an artist, I was there from the beginning when it was Optimus.
Man, with the two.
Man, and Louis Barr,
Yeah.
the first show. But as you evolved, you went. I mean, you're professionally trained, sound engineering, and just different experiences as an artist. But then you come up with this idea of the Culxr House and what the Culxr House is all about. So how do those two like passions influence each other, like in your creative process?
Well, it influenced me to keep showing improving, right? I can't be telling people these things and not doing it myself, right? In terms of trying to inspire the artist community, also influence them and inspire at the same time, right? Like you have to do it too. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure I'm doing it now, and I'm showing them that what I'm saying does pay off, and right that and it works. Like there's a reason to stay here as a young creative, or there's opportunities, or I can help assist your journey, and what ways, what I'm saying.
So would you say like just the creation of, and talk about that, just the backstory and the birth of the Culxr House, was that like you evolving, because you're an artist, producer, and then here's the Culxr House. So tell us a little bit about the Culxr House and like how that came to be.
That's exactly what that is involvement. Like, and like I'll say this on record, because like people like to try to hold the two separate for some reason, and I think that artists do it to me. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to respect that the artist did this next. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like it wasn't a part. No, like entrepreneurship, and then evolving. Right? Was always the thing to do. So Culxr House came from being an artist. Yeah, of course, right? You know what I mean? And then an artist learned business, and then how can I take what I know and then, make a business from it? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But the cool part about it is that once you have your things, you know what it costs in order to help somebody. Sometimes it don't cost anything, right? And so I got into that habit of doing what I can for others too, because it ain't hurting me, right?
Yeah.
And then I learned like, hold on, it uplifts. Right? Oh, there's more that need this, more that need this.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. We got something here. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of how that was going. I never had the idea of like creating Culxr House what it is now, right? because other people have their own vision and use for the space too, and that's something that you have to allow, right? And you recognize because
That's really cool.
you can't just be in the community and only do what you want.
Yeah.
Boy, that's the truth you have.
You know,
What do the
everybody needs
people need,
everybody needs
man?
something else. Everybody don't need what you need. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
you know,
true.
So as time went by, I'm able to evaluate that and then expand to other things, and that's how we've grown the components that we have. But it only started with one room, just a recording studio.
Right.
That was
I
it.
know.
You know what I'm saying? In a building, in a space that I share with several other people.
Yeah.
But you know, survival of the fittest, the who lasted the long, like all those things are true, right? All those things are true, and you know, just having a vision. So, you know, being in that space that we were in 2017, when Manny was like, I ran into Manny on the street, bro. And Manny was like, hey man, look, I'm gonna come up on some buildings and. Do you want a space?
I sound just like
Cool.
Like, all right.
I had just did the New Generation Festival a couple years in a row. So
Yeah.
so right. So
Dang.
from that wave of already having organized and the idea of creating melting pots and knowing how to put these things together, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nothing coming down and then doing smaller scale. That's why I do events like how I do, because that
Man, I forgot about
it's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy
man.
to me, man. Like it's fake work, man. But you know, coming from what I was, doing, right? But I figured out how to manage that, and then now I have to go asking for a whole bunch of, you know, run myself raggedy, right? You learn and then you condense and you figure it out. But anyways, the opportunity when man was like, yo, you want to come down here in this space in 27 or on 24th Street? So I was like, all right, cool. So come down there for a meeting, and then this is the first time I meet like almost all these people, man. I hadn't met no Trey before, or Elijah, or Bird, or like I had knew Gerard, you know what I'm saying? Like some people I didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Dewan, you know, and so it was all in this space, man, you know, and it was an incubator. The idea was to activate spaces. See, this has now become a thing, right? Where people get buildings and then just and they open up and operate, right? This was a term called activating spaces. And so where you get a building that's existing already, turn the lights on, paint the walls, you program, right?
Right.
And that's what we did at that building. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so we did that up until shoot, man, just like time right now. You know, Gerard moved away, Bird moved away,
yeah.
and I was left with that building myself, man. And so I took total advantage of it. You know what I mean?
So what was the aha moment? Because I remember coming down and it was very early. You could see the seed was starting to pop up out of the ground. There's some plants. And it's like, what's going on in terms of the idea? And I think one moment for me when I realized that this thing is about to start, like the curve is going to start taking off, was when you were doing the freestyle ciphers over lunch hour.
Yep.
And that had to be around that time, like 2018, something like that. And I remember Ed Sanssouci was just telling me like, yo, you got to come down, like it's crazy down here. I was like, what is the hype? What is all the hype? Okay, let me come down here. And I came down and it was just like, it reminded me of, I forget the name of the grocery store they used to do it out of in California.
Oh, okay.
They would just do ciphers.
Yeah.
And so many artists were discovered out of those ciphers.
Yeah.
And I just came in, I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm out of town.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a moment, but I'm curious, what was your moment? Like, yo,
you
this is
know,
gonna take off.
Cypher Monday, and Cypher Monday, dude. That was like I was using that to like brand this thing, right? So with myself, like, so the artists come through, they come down and they pick from my beats, you know what I'm saying? Then the freestyle, I would record them myself, shoot the video myself, right? I'm doing interview videos, shooting myself, right? Do all the editing.
That's a lot of work.
That's what I was doing. I did all early Culxr House content. That's
All on
me.
your
All
own?
graphics, all video. That's me. Like all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just branding it. You know what I mean? Because that's what I used to do as an artist myself. You know,
Right.
Or Teddy helping me. You
And
know
now
what I'm
you're
saying?
like, I'm gonna brand
Right?
this whole thing.
This is what you gotta do. But like my brand was strong enough at the time, so I would Dilla Kids would be the house band in most of the shows, or I'm doing shows there. But I am branding Culxr House through me, so other artists and people that respect what I do they buy into it. You know what I'm saying, right? And so doing the Cypher Monday was something just authentic that I had the time to do because, you know, we're building this thing up. You know what I mean? So I'm reaching out to artists, and you know, once they start seeing the videos pop up, then they're like, "Oh, I want to do next one." So you know, so it was cool. But no, that was like a crucial moment though, because we was able to get the artist base first, right. And this is before any of the 2020, any of that stuff. We had the artists. We had the artists before we had the city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they came when we started doing the social justice stuff, right? We don't see none of them no more. You understand? But the artists though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it was always about the artists in the first place.
Right. Exactly.
Very cool.
That's so real.
So okay. Now I know we know, but can you just share just a little bit about what happens at the Culxr House, the different things? Because you started with the, you know what I'm saying, the Cypher Mondays and the poem, but now it's like, man, like what's
Cypher Mondays.
What's all happening at the Culxr House?
Cypher Mondays is happening. Oh man, I'll just tell you, like today, like I just came from Culxr House, and Senator McKinney was shooting a video. Yeah, you know, he's running for re-election this year, so he's using the space. Houston Alexander was in there earlier this week prepping for a mural he's going to do on the inside. Did a tour with Creighton's faculty literally just a day ago. You know, like there's you have this wow factor still that people come down because they want to tour the space, right? Yeah, which is cool. Daily we have artists that are in there recording their next project or their next single, or shooting their next video or their next photo shoot or their next content that they're creating, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're in there working on that. This weekend we just got through doing a garage sale pop-up, like a vendor event, right? Where people can come in.
And then what, like 2 years you started doing the art battles?
The art battles.
Man, we just launched that back
for
October 12th, yeah.
October 12th, man. Keep it locked in, y'all.
Keep it locked in. And then, like, you know, launching the fashion house, right? So all these things are a thing, right? So at the first Culxr House, when we started with that room, I slowly expanded to doing thrift clothes, right? Because, man, I was broke anyway. So, like, I was having to thrift, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad this is popping. Because, you know, like when you can style, it ain't no thing, man. It's like cool. Like, you know, it's cool to wear shirts that you know where it was from.
Hey, man.
You know what school that is.
There's some high fashion at the thrift stores, man. You can get a Joseph A. Banks suit top to bottom at the thrift store.
Secondhand is
$40. Tell me how I know.
Some real legit brands at a thrift store too. For real. You're like,
that's the only way you should buy the name brands now.
You really should.
Nah, man. I went from that because like I started understanding the culture too, and like the folks that was coming through, I was like, damn, we really attracting like the Gen Zers and this is what they own. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on it, but this is what they really own. Like they started the whole business off of like thrifts, and I'm like, damn, it's that serious for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually smart.
You know, so we opened a Culxr closet, so we had a room where we did that. You know, I was already collecting records for a long time. Yeah. So I went into my stash and was like, okay, I done sampled these as much as I can. So now these for sale. You know, so that's how we started the record shop. You know, so when we moved to the new space, like we had those components already: live music, right, studio. Clothing, records, you know what I mean? And then also, like, you can rent the space, you know?
Very slick.
Which is super smart.
Right.
To rent out space.
Right, yeah.
So in terms of the recording studio, how do people rent that out? Because it just seemed like it just pops up. People been renting it, and then they got music out. It's like, I don't even know. So are they renting you as an engineer, or is it like a la carte type of thing?
Like, to get me as an engineer, you gotta like be like dang near Marcy's artist. Dang near, so just something that give me like that, like Coral. Like Coral's been gang for a minute, right? So he's one of those guys, man. So I'll work on his stuff, you know what I mean? But other than that, though, we have other guys, man. We
Yeah,
get
got a
guys.
team.
We get guys from Iowa Western, get guys from the intern, man. That that want space. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
To use the equipment and stuff like that. And so, like. So let me say it this way, right? It's not a public studio. So anybody that's listening, like, if you call me like, okay, your studio time, like, probably won't happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You need to go through the processes and learn Culxr House, and then you'll know about these opportunities, these services that are available to you.
Gotcha.
Right. But if like you don't come for nothing and you just want a studio time, then I can't do that. But if you're the guy who's there at the open mics and you're working, right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you gotta be a part of the Culxr House community.
You gotta be part of that, right?
Yeah.
And then therefore you have the opportunity to record free, man. But if you come down one time at open mic like, oh, I need to record, then I'll put you on with somebody who does record, and then they probably charge you, right?
Right.
And then that's how I go. But that's not how I want to run it, right? Again, what you're going to see is an institute, right? So again, like those that are members, you know what I'm saying, and that participate, you know what I'm saying, we'll be able to, and then there's going to be things for public, obviously, you know what I'm saying, right?
Speaking
Love
of like
that.
institute, you've had like people teach classes out of there too, haven't you? Because I came to those graphic design classes that Jay Crum was doing
Yeah.
way back in the day.
Yeah. We had Crown doing some doing some branding
Yeah,
courses.
he's a
Yep.
jack of all trades too.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So like, if I would love for more artists that are established to share what they know. So I'm glad Jay Crum did that. And like I feel like I do my part, but I feel like just as an artist, dude, like that can do more for the artists that are coming up. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna just say that. So if you hear that, I'm saying that, I'm calling y'all out. You know what I'm saying? I can't be the only one having a roof. You know what I'm saying? And like, stretching. You know what I'm saying? Really stretching. But it's like some of y'all are old enough to come in there and be an influence too. I shouldn't be the only one. So I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
So when you talk about the artist influence and stuff, I'm just curious, who would you say, or maybe like top two, like maybe one of the biggest artists that's come through there, and your favorite artist that's come aside from yourself?
Let's come through Culxr House.
Yeah,
My
because
favorite?
I've seen some people in there.
Well, I'm gonna just be honest. My favorite is Terrace Martin. Like,
Okay.
period. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that was
Like,
recent.
Yeah,
That was this summer.
Okay.
Yeah. Terrace
tell us
Martin.
about
Like,
that.
having Terrace Martin come through.
They work with Kendrick Lamar and
Yep.
some huge names.
Grammy nominated, right? Like you said, worked on Kendrick Lamar's record, To Pimp a Butterfly.
I love that.
He's done a number of things, but also his father, R.P. to Curly Martin. His father's from here.
He's from here, yeah. I know that name.
Yep. You know what I mean? And he did his thing, man. You know what I mean? Back in the day. And his dad used to tell me lots
Keep
of
learning
stories.
about that rich history,
He's telling me lots of
man.
stories. Oh my God,
Dang,
rich
Omaha
history and
got
connection.
rich history.
Yeah, it is. So that's probably why that's probably one of my favorite artists, is because I really love that Dinner Party album so much. And so, how it is, man, you adore something or someone so much, and then you actually get to see them, man.
Crazy.
But you've built something up, man, and for the fact that, some powers that be will try to deny your space the opportunity to have someone
Like that.
prominent or special in it.
Yeah.
And I don't talk about this a lot, you know what I mean? But it happens a lot. There's people that come here all the time, man. And then I'll get a call from, someone, and then they'll be like, hey, I'm gonna send this person this way, right? Because they should come see the
Right.
Culxr House.
They
right?
should.
You have some people some entities that are selfish, that want to feel like they're the only cultural thing. These are a lot of the things I don't understand, right? Because I'm not them. You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. My perspective is different, right? But so, for that to work in the way it did, that's probably the favorite artist. Maybe who's my second artist? You know what? Do you remember growing up we watched Comic View, and you remember what's the name? Is his name Tang? Can't think of the light skinned dude. Comedian. Dang. I think his name was Tang. Is it Tang?
2 hours later.
Anyways, man, so I'm struggling with these names, but I want to put in this perspective. Is this like, it's a lot of people that I could name, like, I can't say who the favorite, right? But I'll say who the most popular one was. But Chardell, there's underground artists that I grew up on, bro, that like be on the underground circuit that will end up playing at Culxr House. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to say all that to say this, man, like, no, man, I mean people that like I was listening to as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right. And so I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it that way, man. I still be surprised at the people that do come through and play. So.
I mean, T. Martin, that one was wild too, because I know originally they had that slated for outdoor event, and because of the weather, it got moved to the Culxr House. Yes. So that's special to be top of mind as the place, the indoor place to go to, first of all, and second of all, just to have somebody of that stature.
Oh, you're right. That event, it was not planned. Well, it was the backup plan, right? But originally, no, it was not planned. So thankful that the weather, did that. Sorry, Elijah. I listened. Joy Fest was great.
Yeah.
And just having a spot like the Culxr House.
I loved having them there, though. That was just great, man. So it was great. Yeah. And everything worked out, man.
So I got one last question about the setup of the Culxr House. So you've got really two stages. You got the front facing stage, and then you've got it's almost like an arena back there now. I mean, there's been so much stuff that's happened back there. How do you differentiate where different activities happen in there?
Yeah, so the front house, our living room, and then the warehouse, right? So the front space is for the more smaller, intimate events, right? Like, so if an organization is doing like a retreat or so like a small celebration, so the 15 to 20, right? 25, 30, like could go in the front. That type of crowd I'm expecting. But if we're expecting more numbers, then we'll typically move that event to the back. You know what I'm saying? In the warehouse. And then depending on people's price points too, though, right? So if if when renting, you know what I'm saying, right? There's the price difference in, you know what I'm saying, each side, or you can, do the whole thing. So.
Okay.
How about this?
And there's expansion happening right now, right? So. Is that layout going to change, or is that going to kind of be the same but just expanded?
It's new. So I just got the first layout like a few weeks ago, because we've been in design meetings now, right? And so having the first layout, no, like the studios and stuff like that. Well, it's only one studio, but we're going to end up having 4.
Okay.
So all that all media stuff is moving to the other building.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be new over there.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Sliding over there. It'd be more direct access into the warehouse. So all those offices on the left side, where the room you gotta walk through to get to warehouse, all those would be gone. You know what I'm saying? So there'll be entrance on so the right side would be the entrance that'll take you straight down into the warehouse. We'll have the layout's just gonna be different. Like the shop, the shop would be expanded, be in the front, be more of a cafe area. From when the first entrance that you do come in, that wall would be gone. It'd be more expanded. The building next door, across the alley, which we're moving the media stuff to, but then also we're doing the pizza shop in, right? That the back part of the building will connect to the warehouse, right? And it'd be like this hall, you know what I'm saying, that you can walk through to get to it, or to get to the other building.
Nah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, the other building I have a bigger meeting space. And
Pizza is coming to 24th Street. Pizza, people. I'm excited for pizza.
Hoping I had that first slice in 2025.
Okay.
And man, what do you think about the name Marcy's Place? Man? What do you feel about that? Huh?
Marcy's Place.
It's humble. It's like
It sounds Italian.
yeah.
Marcy Pizza.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Yeah, so man, that was just the first layout, and so there's just many more to come. So honestly, things are gonna look really different, but still wanted to honor that, like the vibe. It's not gonna look like no brand new just like commercial facility, right? We're gonna still try to keep the feel. You know what I'm saying? But we got to improve some stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Nah, I
That's
got
what's
you.
up.
Okay. Yeah. So we.
I think I didn't want to interrupt you too, but I think Tara had a question she was waiting to
I
ask.
did. I wanted him to talk a little bit about the art battle, basically, because it's a national event, and I mean, it's literally well, I had been there for a couple things prior to
And
this.
you
but
competed before, right?
I did compete before, and
did,
it's
you
what
did.
inspired me to originally like get more involved in the Culxr House. So can you just talk about like, you know, like what you do for artists in that way, like some of the artists maybe that you feature there, like who won, what's her name that won season 2? I'm in love with their art.
Maddie, she won season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Somebody got to.
She the reigning champ.
Somebody got to come in.
No, I love
She
her
the
too.
2-time champ.
But I'm talking about
Yeah.
the gal that does the hardcore women that are like they're like flipping people off. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
do you know what I'm talking
Anik.
about? Anik.
Yeah, Anik.
Her art is
Yeah.
like my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, talk about some of those people and
Yeah, no, I love Anik's style. You know, this is where, like, in my opinion, like street art meets fine art, and the street art be winning.
fact.
Street art be
right there.
it'd be winning.
Always.
It'd be winning. I tell the fine artists like, yo, like it ain't. It's gonna be different. Like, man, the homie Gerard came in and got washed. Yeah,
I was
Gerard is
what
nice.
happened?
homie Gerard, yo, he even finished in 20 minutes, man. Like, cause y'all used to taking all that time trying to
just
make
got
these
started.
trying to make these paintings y'all about to charge 10,000 for. Like, man.
Yeah.
They whipping up in 20 minutes, man, and they selling these the same night. You know what I'm saying?
Dang, that's
You know what I mean?
real.
So I ain't gonna lie, I
It was hard.
went to Jocelyn, a week ago, and I'm
it
seeing
just
like
opened up.
some of those styles. I've seen that. I'm starting to see the same styles that I've seen at the art battle in Jocelyn.
That's
dude.
cool.
The
I gotta go
influences.
over there.
Like, it's like,
Now
oh,
that's how
okay.
you know you're really making art when you have influence.
Man.
Yeah.
It's like the same styles I'm seeing at art battle and seeing these artists create in 20 minutes.
20 minutes, right? And like that's it. That's like the catch and what makes it exciting, Tara, is that it's 20 minutes, right? You get to paint. Most people are, and I'm learning this. I didn't know artists were that like timid, dude, to get in there and paint in front of people, man. I didn't know that. I'm like, oh, really?
I was shaking. My hand was shaking. All
Oh
the
my,
time.
y'all are like this and that, and then I'm like, y'all want to hop in this competition. It's funny to me, man. So some of y'all that call yourselves the best artists in the city, telling some, I don't paint, I don't battle. Like,
I feel like you're
okay,
gonna call some
whatever,
people
man.
Just tell the truth.
No, so y'all intimidated. Y'all know that. Y'all kind of a little scared to get in there. It's okay, like get in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, challenge yourself, and that's all it is. Like, I appreciate artists that do it. Coro, I mentioned him earlier, a rapper. He hopped up in there and won one. You know what I'm saying?
That's so cool.
Because he do art on the side. But the thing is, like, it's like there's something about challenging yourself, putting yourself out there. And so, and I always say at the competition, like, yo, it takes a amount of courage, you know what I'm saying, to do that. But also at the same time, this is what it does for the artist. Builds their confidence up, gets them in front of an audience, right? They automatically get more followers. They get to sell their first piece of art. They get to make money on the first sale, you know what I mean, right? And then they have the opportunity to then get other opportunities.
Right, like the Black Art Expo.
Black Arts Expo, being in art shows and galleries around the city, right? Being an event at different events throughout the city, right, where they could sell more art, you know what I'm saying, present themselves. So that's what Art Battle has done, especially for like the younger artists and artists that were little to not known, but now like, you know, I see them around a lot, you know what I'm saying? I feel a lot of, you know, and we don't take credit, right? We just like take part, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Cool.
Right on. All right. Cool. You know, we can't end this podcast without having a conversation around, you know, AI and gear and apps.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about that, right? So it's like, here's it said, AI is projected to be involved in like 20 to 30% of all music production process by like 2030. So AI is becoming a part of the music industry. How do you think that it could help or challenge the creative process for artists like you?
I think that it helps. Like, I don't, you know, the challenge is just figuring out how it can help you. That's it.
Right
To
on.
be honest with you, the more I dive into it, I'm like, yo, is is cheating. You know, but it's not. It's where we at. So I think that for anyone who has been doing something, and they see how it can apply and help them out, then definitely use it. So I love some of the tools. They have tools that can do production for you, that can songwrite for you, but it can get used to your writing style. You know what I'm saying? So it can it can mimic it for you, right? Mm-hmm. It can help you. Let's say you got 4 bars, you got 6 bars. You need 2 more. It can take what you already got, right, and then finish that for you. It's just things that it can do, right? In terms of like graphic design, now this is where I like AI the most, is because it challenges your creative thinking, but also how you articulate. The better you can articulate AI, the best
prompts,
the best you're gonna get.
That's the theme.
Yeah. Right. So therefore, that's the part right now. It's like
you still got to be who can be the most creative with AI, man. You're gonna get the best results,
man. You know what I mean?
How can I use this thing? That's the question you got to ask yourself.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm intrigued, and right now I've just been doing exploratory things. So eventually, probably 2025, you'll start seeing things that was AI that you had no idea. You know what I mean?
What was that? Now I know. Was it somebody that? Now it's a different kind of use of AI, but they like put out a new song. It was like of some artist, but it wasn't them. It like took their voice.
That's the only part that I don't like about it.
Okay.
Is that is creating songs with another artist's voice. Yeah, to me, I don't see the purpose in it. Now for play, fine, right? But other than that, though, I don't quite understand that. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to, why do that? I don't really understand that part. So you get a fake diss track from Eminem or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You get a fake Trump support song from Taylor Swift or something, right?
Right.
Which make no sense. Like, why are you doing that? So my only part is that you got a certain population of folks that are going to believe some of this fake stuff. Youth, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, they're going to believe that stuff because you know how everything is, right?
Yep.
There's no fact checking.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's automatically like, you hear it, and then people want to be so quick to like be cool about
it. On social media, we just take it as truth. Like the first thought is this is true.
First is true. So, if there has to be a balance of it, So, people like us, we're going to.
Right. Definitely be responsible with it like anything. Now, you mentioned exploring with like what are some I'm familiar with other AI tools, but what are like some AI like music or production tools or apps that's out there?
Apps. Let me see. So, in my phone, particularly, let's see.
Already on the phone. Already.
So AI music, AI chat. I use chat GPT. Is that what it's called, right?
Oh yeah.
I use that a lot. In terms of just we're running an organization too, and sorry, but I don't have to have. AI can replace them.
Yeah, it's facts.
Man.
You got to be able to either use it or you get replaced.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, man. So I was going to get into that, but yeah. So those apps, a recent one that I got was AI Renovate, and where you can renovate, you can design a room.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna check that out.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying, right?
Oh, wow.
Redesign my house.
Yep. Yeah, and so those are the current AI ones I use right now. And then there's AI music, Renovate, Imagine. No, not that one. Let's see.
We all have an AI tool on our phone that we're not actually using.
No, and but then this other one here. So I'm exploring this one for graphics, right? Because you can you can create your own graphics, right? And so I was just playing with the idea of, because I had an idea of my album art that I wanted, right? And so I have been playing with that by just being really particular with what I wanted it, and then these AI generated images come out, and they be so good. You know what I mean? They're so good.
And then you can find someone to recreate that for you.
If I just want to recreate it for you, that part.
So you got a question about the audio production. I know a lot of artists out there would love to know, like, what DAW you use. What's your favorite piece of gear? I know for me, when I was active, I've used a lot of stuff, Pro Tools, Sonar. But right now, for me, I would say the best of them was Logic, and then the MPC 2000 XL was my go-to for sampling.
Hit the 2000 XL.
That was the one for me, but that's for me. What are your pieces?
So my go-to pieces now is the MPC, and so now MPC has a software, you know, so MPC 1, MPC 2, MPC Renaissance was the first start. So it merged the hardware with the software because they're inspired by Native Instruments, who came out with the machine, remember? And so Native Instruments was killing stuff. So my whole first project when I did Miseducated Scholar, that was all on the machine, you know what I mean? Because it slid really hard. But it tended to burn out, all right? I went through 2 of them and it burnt out on me. So I was like, dang. So when I was looking for equipment, then I came across the MPC Essential. And so I used that for a number of years. MPC Essential was a smaller 16 pad, but it came with the software. So the MPC software. So again, and that can support any kind of Akai controller, right? So MPC software. So if you got like an MPD, MPK, or whatever, it can support it. Fruity Loops, right?
Okay.
That was my thing when I first got started. I don't really use it that much anymore, but Fruity Loops is still pretty much a go-to for a lot of main producers in the industry.
Yeah, that's
right.
I can't believe how that like it used to get made fun of, and now it's like an industry
It's
tool.
the thing. Well, Fruity Loops kept advancing it, right? So you have these DAWs that want to keep up with your Logic Pro because Logic Pro came in and changed everything because the industry standard was Pro Tools, right? Logic Pro came in, Apple. You know what I'm saying? Apple came in and did with the Logic Pro, which made it a full, right, production. You know what I'm saying? Like Pro Tools at the time was like more recording, mixing, and then input your instrument, right, to do it, you know, right?
Tracking,
but it wasn't a beat making software. So when Logic Pro came, right, which was the upgrade from GarageBand. You know what I'm saying? That was the start of your consumer friendly. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Where you ain't got to pay nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then you can start cooking. So I'm always going to say Logic Pro because when I went to school in Arizona, they gave us laptops with Logic Pro in there. And I preferred the editing on that even more than Pro Tools, you know? So I became certified in Logic, you know what I'm saying? And then certified like 3 tiers in Pro Tools too. Now, if I go to make a beat, I'll go over to MPC if I'm just trying to get it now, right? If I'm like, I want to cook, I'll go to MPC. You know what I'm saying? I'll go there. I'll get started from there, and then I'll go into a DAW. Don't matter what DAW. It could be GarageBand or it can be, you know what I'm saying, Pro Tools when I'm getting ready to just sequence. And then from that point, like, start to add some other elements, you know what I'm saying? So that's whether I grab another musician to come in and then, you know, replay this, play this, do this, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or I want to add some things on that. But recently, I've been studying on my SP404. So if you've seen that video uploaded out there with the Symphony DAW, I had the SP out there.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah, the SP.
You can't tell from the angle, but okay.
Yep. Yeah, so the SP404. So these are things that I always wanted, right? I always wanted the SP because Pete Wright used to talk about it all the time. And I always wanted an NBC because he talked about it a lot too, right? And just like my favorite producers did. I got on the Fruit Loops because Ninth Wonder was using it. Yeah. You know, Ninth Wonder wanted the coldest. You know what I'm saying?
He's up there. Top. Yeah, he's at the top of the list for me too.
Yeah, so the SP is where I'm at right now. And I love the SP because this newer version of SP, like, it has a DJ option where you can actually, it has a DJ mode, right? So you can really DJ from it. It has so many effects, you know what I'm saying, buses, but it's the ultimate sampling machine. Like, man, and it's this big, and all I need is just a mono input, bro, and I'm good, right?
Crazy.
I can record from your phone into input, preparing it from an iPad, sample anything. There's a mic input. Okay, you talk, I can sample you in there. Like I can do all those things just from there. You know what I mean?
Dang,
so
crazy.
yeah. So I'm really intrigued by that, and then using that with the OP1. So the OP1 is another device that I got before I got the SP, and so now I'm going to be into that phase where like when I'm doing live performances, like I'm bringing out some electronics too.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, because I was using, I don't know if you heard of this app on the iPad called Beatmaker 2. There's that Beatmaker 2 and Beatmaker 3.
Yeah.
It's, I was using that exclusively for sampling for about 3 or 4 years before I like put it on the shelf. But I was just curious if you had heard of that, because your workflow reminds me of that, how you can take it to the show and just have like this really compact rig.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Beatmaker.
SP and OP1.
Yeah, OP1, man. It's that's made by Teenage Engineering. So that's like it's a foreign company. But man, it's this small little compact thing, man. And I'm telling you, man, it comes with a tape recorder in it, right? You know what I'm talking about? So like if
That's crazy.
City got the reel-to-reel, so this comes on in there. You know what I'm saying? You can record the tape on there. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
crazy.
get it. That's yeah. So he just dropped some gems for everybody out there. Y'all tap
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sharon.
We have to charge for people to watch this.
But this is what it's about, man. It's,
You guys have Patreon, right? No.
I think we
Yeah,
got
you
a
just
table
set
great
one up.
page.
Yeah, people subscribing to y'all? They're subscribing
Not
y'all?
yet. Not yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm about to get that done.
Avion, he's been kind of leading the way in the office with AI and helping to get us up to speed on
Okay.
like what's possible. So
Okay.
I'm surprised he hasn't said anything
Yeah,
yet.
what's up?
Man, I didn't mean to be a fly on the wall. I mean, I kind of planned to be this episode just to really learn and understand like what you do in the Culxr House. So it's really cool. But yeah, like with AI, we've been exploring with it. We're probably talking about it every day in the office. But like, you know, with AI, it helps you be a better creative almost. Like it takes out a lot of the fat and allows you to focus on the things that you want to focus on, right? Like I'm big into I do a lot of video editing. So instead of me like working on a lot of tedious tasks, I can just be like, how can I make this video better? How can I make it pop? I can focus more on like storytelling, right? And then it also helps being in a room full of other creatives too. Because then it's like, I can get inspiration from the design team. I can get inspiration from other video editors and stuff. So now I could be more flexible, but yeah, then even just listening and kind of like to shift into like being in a space, you know, listening to what the Culxr House is. What I've taken is like, is really a space where you can be, because I've seen like posts and stuff. I didn't really know what it was. I'm sure a lot of people watching will, they'll kind of like learn a lot too. But like to me, like I'm big in like challenging yourself and even getting inspiration. And it's like really dope to hear that there's a place here in Omaha where it's like you can do that. You can be around people. You can challenge yourself. You can learn. You can have it's a resource. You can network. You can, you know, do all these things. So yeah, I'm just really like learning. I just kind of plan to like lean back and like just kind of learn, like, you know, even take inspiration from your story too. But I guess I had a question too, like, where do you see like the Culxr House and where do you see yourself and your music? Like, where do you see yourself in like the next 5 years, or where do you want to be in the future, like long term, big term? Yeah.
So Culxr House in the next 5 years. Culxr House will operate as probably an accredited institution, man. You know what I'm saying? Where those artists are, those creatives, you know, they're getting something for being down there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there's going to be phases you go through in order, you know, and then projects you have to do, showcase you have to do, you know, internships you have to do in order to, you know what I'm saying, to get out. But you'll be ready for, you know what I'm saying? Because I imagine, man, in the next 5 years, there's going to be so much more opportunity for creatives. I think it's just us creating that demand, letting people see where they need a creative. You know what I'm saying, right? Again, like, man, we've been holding things down ever since 2020. You know what I'm saying? Hardcore.
In the thick of it. For real.
Like,
if y'all made it through
hardcore.
that.
Like, I'm just saying, like,
Right.
creatives been holding everything down since 2020, man. Like, look at all the rebranding all these companies have done, from like streetwear to like sneakers to whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? And this is from new creative direction. You know what I'm saying, right?
Brand collaborations off the chart now.
All these kind of things, man. So I think for us, that's what I want to do. Like, and it's gonna mirror from what an institution I went to, right? Sometimes it take a while to get to exactly what you're trying to do, because it's a very unorthodox way, right? Most people start off with capital, build the building they want, exactly be what it is. My method has always been medicine and the food, right? I have to like play the game, attract, block people's interest. You know what I'm saying, right? And then make them like drink the cough syrup or whatever, or the.
I thought you were gonna say Kool-Aid. Don't say that.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say that, man. But honestly, that's really what I wanted. Ultimately, for Culxr House, to just have a facility much like the one I had, right? Where you go in there, you learn, you work, you know what I'm saying, right? And then you have something to show for it. Meaning that you go in there and you learn your trade furthermore. So if you want to learn more about audio recording or songwriting or producing, right? Or, again, like how to do post-production. This is stuff that I was taught, right? So I was taught on film editing, post-production, right? Video game creating, how to create startup music, how to edit in surround sound, right? How to do live studio engineering. Studio engineering is the difference, right? Live and then studio, you know what I mean?
And mastering, y'all. Stop trying to master y'all music.
All those kind of things, right?
That's a different space.
But you got AI tools now, like, hell, man, and a lot of the softwares now, man, they, you get on YouTube and you can learn how to, do these things. But again, like, that's what I want, you know what I'm saying, for, Culxr House, and that's eventually what that'll be, you know what I mean? And then the ability to showcase, you know what I mean, a lot, But for me, in 5 years, I'm probably like, getting ready to be done doing world tours, you know what I'm saying? And like, another Culxr House will have already opened up in several different cities, you know what I'm saying, in the next 5 years. Like, that's like what I see though.
That's
You know?
fire.
Yeah.
And just an aside, Kool-Aid was invented in Nebraska.
Yeah, Hastings.
Hastings, Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, so we should have said drinking
Hastings,
That'd have been a cool
Nebraska.
pun.
Yeah, man.
I'm wearing a
Got a
Kool-Aid color.
museum.
Dang.
Kool-Aid color, man.
Dang.
I guess another thing that comes to mind too, I'm not sure how much time we got left neither, but
30 seconds.
you talk about how important it is for people to get their voice out there, or like even just like coming forward as like, because you don't know who you can inspire, right? A lot of people are creative in their own different ways, musically. Maybe it's on a canvas, maybe it's like me, I do a lot of physical activities, so I can show my creativity through there. But aside from all that, like, how important do you think it is for people to like get their voice out there and be heard and be seen?
I think it's, so to me, right, I think it's important. Sometimes you can find yourself thinking that something is more important to someone else than it is to them, right? You learn from it. So some people don't wish to be vocal or be out in the forum. Some people just want to be, and it depends on what they want out of it, right? If they just want to do their art, right, or do their craft and not want any, and then have any desires for it to be lucrative. That's the one thing I tell people. Okay, well, if you want to make money of it, then you have to get a little more vocal then, depending on what you want out of it. All right?
Yeah.
You just have to get that comfort zone, right? Because you're going to need more, right? More attention, more, you know what I'm saying, right? But again, if you're that person who's content with just having, and this is what Ernie said to me, Ernie Chambers said, sometimes some art you got to keep for yourself. Ernie Chambers is an artist as well too, but he's not a public artist.
Yeah.
Right? He donated a piece of us to Culxr House. And so if you're like that, where there's you know, other things you're into, but if this is the sole thing that you want to do full time, then it's very important to get that out there. For one, there's a certain likability that comes with it, right? People attach to stories. You know, I always say to people, like, people have to want it for you in order for you to have a certain level of success, right? People have to want it for you. You just can't.
It's true.
You just can't grant yourself success. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right? You know?
Right.
So it takes doing those things that you're scared of, and most people are scared of putting themselves out there, scared of rejection, scared of no, just scared of those things, right, that you have to get over. And I used to listen to just a lot of just Will Smith quotes, right? Favorite dude of all time. This is before the Chris Rock thing. He still is my guy, but he doesn't give that inspiration like he was before.
Right.
You know,
Just-
come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
It don't hit the same way. No pun
Ain't the same way. It ain't. Oh boy, man, them Will Smith clips when it was cut up.
I know. I used to pay attention
music
to
behind it.
them,
You're
watch
like,
them all the
dang,
time.
They did, right? You know, but
I know if anybody's gonna catch it.
Oh yeah.
no, but you know, it was a whole quote he would say though was like, man, anything that scared him, he would attack it, right? And that's
real.
what I do. If I get an idea of something, then I get like my excuse is something. I break it down because I'm scared. Then I'm gonna push myself to do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what people have to do. They have to push themselves to get over that, to overcome that fear. They have to break it down. But yeah, it's very important to get your voice heard, your message out there, because that's what people are going to buy into, and that's how you're going to get your support.
Cool.
Take us away, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, Avion asked the closing question. I was going to ask what's one piece of advice you could give someone that's starting off. I mean, you answered it. You know, I think, man, a lot of gems was dropped, you know, in this episode. Again, thanks for coming, stopping by the content.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Content Parlor, you know, before we end, like if there's just one last thing that you want people to know about before we close out.
Experience is necessary, right? And when I say that, it's for anything, anybody, right? You can hear about somebody or hear about anything, but have your personal experience with it first before you judge it or you make your decision or formulate your opinion. And so I say that, you know, with Culxr House, make sure you come down there. You know, just don't hear about it and say, oh, I heard about it. Like, come down there and experience it. And also, same thing with Marcy Yates, man. Make sure you come experience it. Come experience the show. Come meet me. Have a personal experience with me. You know what I mean?
Buy the album. That's another thing you could do. It's where did I buy that first one? Was it Apple Music? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's out there.
I mean, like you know, like I don't even tell people to go to those sites, man, because like when the payouts happen, like it's not that much because you know you get paid so much from these streams, man, and even from these sales too. So go to the Bandcamp. I get that money more directly. So go there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that wraps up today's episode on the Content Parlor, the social club for content creators. Appreciate you coming out. Avion, thanks for joining us. Mm-hmm. Tara, hope to see you back on the next episode. Mm-hmm. Before we wrap it up, finally, just be sure to go out and follow each and every one of us. You know what? I'm gonna put it out there. If you don't put it out there, you can't.
Right
Be
on.
mad. My social media handle at Chardell Barnes.
Avion Barnes everywhere.
Y'all related?
Yeah. That's my uncle. That's my uncle.
Don't try to go to the episode without saying that.
You can follow me at Tara_Pierce_.
Cool. Teddy.
I had to look mine up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even remember.
Mine's is Theardis Y.
The artist.
THEARDIS, the letter Y.
The Culxr House, CULXR. It's not color. I've heard people say Color House. It's Culxr House.
Culxr House.
Culxr.
Some people just give up. They're just like, yeah, I can't pronounce it.
And then what is your personal handle?
It's Marcy Yates, MarceyYates. That's everywhere.
I have it wrong in my phone.
People leave your own brother. People leave the E out.
Right.
It'd be your own family.
That's right. Dang it.
Don't forget the E when you're looking for me.
All right, well, we'll see you guys on the next episode.